The first person to give a number of tots loses. We all know this is negotiation
Yeah.
101.
Yeah.
You know?
The art of the tot. I read this book.
Yeah. After hours.
Oh,
It feels good.
yeah.
Feels
Woo! The sun has set.
Nash is coming on soon, and it's time to get sexy.
That's like the Will Smith version of that.
Woo! Yeah.
Wow.
Welcome, Contemplating the Show After Hours.
Yeah!
When we let our hair down, as it were, and talk
The three we have left.
the three hairs that we have left, and figure out what we're going to talk about. This is where we have some drinks, but I'm still Travis.
I'm still Dylan.
And we are still the hosts of the show. We take place at Don's Depot in Austin, Texas, one of the best bars you've probably never heard of.
Word.
It's not a hipster thing by any means. Like literally, like our special guest, who I'll introduce in a second, and I were talking about how it's so funny when you drive down this street. I don't know what it is about this place, but it's like it's almost at some kind of like reverse Mirage thing.
Yeah.
Every time a Lyft driver has to take me back to my car or to drop me off here because of whatever reasons, they'll always miss the big fucking sign. And Lyft says specifically, you're going to Don's Depot. And they always miss it. I don't know what it is. And it's kind of magical in that way.
Now, I was talking to someone like last week, like, yeah, Don's Depot. Like, what's that? I'm like, do you know where El Arroyo is? Yeah.
Oh, everyone.
It's right next door. You got
everyone in Austin knows where El Arroyo is. Like they could walk there without a compass, you know.
It's like, Mean-Eyed Cat. Yeah, no, it's right across the street.
Right. So fucking simple.
But again, that's the power of. I'm sorry, I got nerded out for a minute on tech gear. Oh, I got a little chubby. Whoa, yeah.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
That is beautiful.
That's
Sorry,
a nice camera.
Someone with a sexy ass camera.
We'll talk about those kinds of things as we continue to do a thing. But this is the after hours, so there's going to be a lot of.
So how's your headache?
Yeah. Well, the
Cranial
shots that are coming up are going to
reduced.
work. So that third voice you're hearing is a good friend of mine. Actually, just introduce yourself. Well, what's a small elevator pitch for yourself?
I'm Bassy. My name is Bassy.
It's pronounced with an assy.
Yeah.
No.
I spell it with the ass.
It's B''assy.
Yes. I'm just a local neighborhood drunk, I guess.
Okay, sure. You're the Otis of the podcast.
yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like that. No, I'll wear that.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, you're an IT professional. I've been in weight and food industry for a very long time.
Service industry for like 2 decades,
Yeah,
finally got to maximize my degree, which I paid way too much money for.
Absolutely.
And, I escaped.
Yeah.
I reached escape velocity, and so just follow your dreams, kids. Is all I'm saying.
Only takes 20 years.
It only takes 20 years.
Yeah, just eventually,
Yeah.
your ship will come.
That's what that song is. It takes two
To make a
decades.
thing
Two
go
decades
right.
to tango. Yes.
To tango.
It takes 2 decades to make a thing go right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Eventually.
And Monica on my mind or something. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Mamba number 20.
Ooh.
I graduated into the worst economy we've seen since the Great Depression. I graduated in December of 2007.
Oh, yeah.
geez.
Yeah.
Perfect time to find a job.
You won.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so looking for a job in 2008 was but so
What are your other passions?
I like music.
Yep. Like what kind of music?
Good music. I know that's fucking
Sure.
Yeah, it's pretty lame,
It
but
counts.
it goes across the board. Like literally, like I don't like to restrict myself. Like I'll listen to hip hop. I'll listen to
So Will
country.
Smith, yeah.
Woo! Wow. Yeah, but
Hey, I'm not from Utah, sir. You shut that down right now.
honestly, like rock is my roots, and then I get a lot of like electronic influences in there too. So
Cool,
yeah,
cool.
really, I span the gamut. I don't know.
Sure. Well, who would you say is electronica that everyone should listen to, or someone who's an unknown?
You know what I've been getting into lately is Tycho, and it's spelled like
Taco Brahim?
yeah, exactly the
Tico Brahe is how that pronounced.
Well-
Tyco is the car company that made
all
the
right,
racetrack.
bro.
Just saying, it's spelled the
Semantic
same.
City. Well,
Only one is a
I always-
monolith. The other is a DJ.
It's sad because we'll probably never hear him actually say his
Well-
own name because it's all electronica.
Again, like I don't. Yeah, but that's one I've been getting into lately.
Sure,
is,
cool.
Tycho Dive is a good one. Or
tip.
Tico. I don't know. That's T
YTHO.
Yeah. The way that you would spell that.
That's the thing I've always done too because of the webcomic.
Tammy.
Penny
Yes,
Arcade.
Penny Arcade. Yeah.
Which I think he even calls it Tycho.
Tycho?
But it is Tico. I knew that, but I also
The
forgot
astronomer is different than the car manufacturer.
Well,
Yes, of course.
right.
Sorry,
Of course.
the
toy car
manufacturer.
But there's those words that you only ever see written down, and you learn. Actually pronounced.
Yeah. What do you do at that point? Well, it's good to have you on the show.
Glad to be here. Long time listener, first time guest.
First time drinker.
No, that's not true.
That is absolutely untrue.
So the last episode, you can go to contentpenny.com to see our main episodes. Those are split up into 4 different segments, and we try to talk about a new topic as much as we can for the week. But this is obviously super open for whatever we like. But we didn't get a chance to talk about 7-Eleven's customizable tater tots.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I guess
I'm a 7-Eleven man.
7-Eleven apparently has a setup where you can have, instead of just standard mustard and ketchup, there's other topics like chili cheese, chili sauce, melted cheese, pico de gallo, diced onions. So basically you can make
I'm not persuaded yet.
Oh,
so
good.
far, I'm still on board.
ranch dressing, green relish pickles.
there you
Are
go.
these
Slice
3D
jalapeno.
printed tater tots? But do you program them in and just...
All right, technically that belongs to us, by the way.
Copyright.
Anything you say, it's an audible copyright
Trademark.
on anything you actually accidentally say on the show.
Trademark
And also, anyone's
22.
listening to this right now, yeah, trademark. No, because why the fuck not?
No, it's
you know?
copyright.
Yeah.
Trademark's a different thing.
Okay, sorry. Copyright 2018. Laser printed tater tots.
7-Eleven tots are available at participating locations. Which is still one of my favorite Mitch Hedberg jokes of all time.
Oh, God.
Just make locations.
In small, 10 tots, or large, 25 tots.
That's a lot of tots.
$1 or $2, respectively. There's a lot of tots for $1 or $2, especially
Yeah.
with all the extra crap you can put on
Yeah,
it.
you're an idiot if you pay $1 for 10 when you could just put another $1 down and
Yeah,
get
it's super easy.
5 for free.
Yeah.
You're leaving money at the table. You're leaving tots at the table.
Right. Yeah. You always go in with a range. You talk to whoever's trying to hire you and say, all right, so because the first person to give a number of tots loses. We all know this is negotiation
Yeah.
101.
Yeah.
You know?
The art of the tot.
You-
I read
you-
this book.
Yeah. So I walked in and I said 25 tots because I'm a negotiator. I can't do Trump at all. I'm never going to try to do Trump. Instead, I'll do
Walked in
Rocky.
25 tots.
Oh, that sounds like Jon Stewart.
I know. It sounds like
Yeah.
25 tots. Yeah, sorry.
Closer to Bernie Sanders.
I lost it.
A young Bernie Sanders, probably. I want to.
25 tots. Spectacular. Fantastic tots.
Yes.
Best tots you've ever seen.
Everybody says.
Everybody says they're the best. Everybody.
Crooked Hillary Clinton.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Kabosh.
So DJT,
Kabosh.
are we gonna touch? So this week he brought he's talked about much to the chagrin of his economic
Lawyers,
advisors.
Economic advisors.
Oh, tariffs.
Yeah,
the tariffs, steel tariffs.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's
yeah.
the thing we're gonna do. And
Tariffs for tots.
Cone was
Yeah.
like, tariffs for tots.
Yeah.
That's the name of this
And
episode.
Cone was like, when they came for the Muslims, I said nothing. They came for the women, I said nothing.
Right.
But they
Come for
came
the money.
They came for the steel. I was like, F this, I'm out.
Right.
The coal miners need their job. Actually, did you see the thing he did with the steelworkers union, where he
Yeah.
tried to arm wrestle the dude?
What?
Well, I know.
Yeah,
Is there
yeah.
video for that?
There is. It is great. So
I would love to slam his fist through a table. My God.
It's honestly
And other-
honestly it's better than that.
No.
So Trump's doing the whole tariff signing thing, and he has like a local 102 steelworkers union from Indiana or something.
Sure.
And there's this dude, and I can't remember who made this phrase, but cartoonishly large biceps, which is very, very true. Like
Yeah.
there's this dude just like,
Okay.
I work in steel, my arms are like as big as this fucking table, and he goes up to so Trump's like, you want to say some things, yeah, blah blah blah, and he goes up to the podium, and Trump goes, you want to arm wrestle, and this dude really goes, no, I'm okay, buddy.
I don't need to test that theory.
And that's on record.
Yeah.
Steelworker going, buddy, to the president of the United States.
but I know what's
I don't-
I
it's
know
okay,
the
buddy.
result of that. I don't need to test that theory. I've already seen the end of that. Yeah.
That is amazing in
That
so many
is.
ways. Especially consider this. If only I could just call Trump. I just would call Trump and say yo, bro. If you would have sweetened the deal a little bit, you might have had your own fucking not John Henry. Who's the? America is shitty with songs about these famous poems about these famous fucking
John
people.
Henry. Yeah, John
So
Henry.
John Henry had a
John
song.
Henry was
Yeah,
right,
he's
okay.
a pile driving man. Right?
Yeah, John Henry, Casey Jones, and
Paul Bunyan.
Paul
Paul
Bunyan.
Bunyan.
He missed his opportunity to be remembered forever as the guy who beat the. Well, actually, in his head, he probably still
Totally was.
still believes it. What the
horns?
fuck is going on?
Actually, the second part. So
I found a picture of that, by the way, and that's definitely going on the art for this episode.
in that
Holy
same
shit.
press conference, like minutes later, he had another dude who was older.
Yeah.
I think it was the union president or something, and Trump says, "Your dad be so proud. He's looking down on you." And the guy goes, "My dad's still alive."
Maybe he was taller than him.
So he actually the guy was relatively short, and Trump's
Okay.
like 6'2"
Yeah.
or something. So, but yeah, so in the same one press conference, he has a dude go, "It's okay, buddy," and then no, my dad's still alive. And this was on live television while he's
I
signing
love
the
it.
tariff
I love
bill.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
God.
and then there's the implications of the tariff bill.
Life imitates-
already other countries are like, hey, you know, you're part of an international
Yeah.
trade. He's starting a trade war, you know, and when he is going to introduce these tariffs, that means is like, hey, these countries are going to suffer as a result of these tariffs.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
well, if we're going to suffer, then there's escalation or retaliation, and then escalation is
Yeah.
like.
And
you
he
want-
said,
yeah.
"Oh, trade war is a great idea."
Even though every economist ever has proven no trade wars are what ruin countries.
Exactly. That's why his economic advisor resigned the day he announced that. He's like,
True. Don't fuck with the money. Yeah.
yeah, they're like, hey man, like, don't, yeah, you the economy is still pretty strong, thanks Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you don't. It's not bulletproof. Like you can't.
Yeah, of course, everything could go fucking wrong, which is probably one of the biggest problems with having term limits.
Which is why earlier this week, President Trump said, that Kim Jong-un is a pretty good idea.
Ugh.
Voted in for life.
Yeah.
President for life.
Within a week, within 7 days,
I know.
our president, our Republican president, GOP president,
Uh-huh.
Not my president.
said, "Shut up." Said,
The person holding the office. How about that?
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
The person who holding the office.
said that he would take guns away from people
Without due process. Yeah.
Yep.
That was Monday.
Obama didn't. Obama didn't.
That's the point. Is like, so he did that, and then he also talked about having no term limits being a really cool thing that maybe we should try someday. And that's literally the same shit that they tried to peg on Obama the entire time he was there,
Yep.
and he never even said the things. And this is a guy who gets on fucking
Literally saying.
He literally said that.
Yeah, but they're like, no, it's fine. It's fine.
or the fucking beauty of this.
Gee, I wonder what the difference is.
I'm going to run into that school without, even if
Yeah.
I didn't have a gun. I'm going to run into that school. I'm going to save everyone's life. I'm going
Hey,
to use
but
my magical fucking
We should let him-
Kamehameha or whatever.
Should we let him try though? We should.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
but he won't, because we have on fucking record when he was on Howard Stern one time where he literally watched a person almost bleed to death and he was like grossed
Oh.
out by it.
Yeah.
The marble tile. Oh,
Yeah.
stained with red. Oh, that was such a disgrace.
Right.
That-
It's ridiculous.
It was a beautiful marble.
But Obama is the worst president in fucking.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
And can I say,
I don't know how
I
far
so-
down
I'm
you
sorry.
want to go. I don't want how far down you want to go, but it's like it's literally like here is a president who has literally said, "Hey, I will take away your guns." Obama never spoke any policy. He never took
Absolutely.
any actions.
He literally said, "We're about
The
due
one thing he
process
did
later."
was opened up the studies. The studies to find a correlation or even causation between
Yeah.
and just to release that CDC block that the NRA put back, you know, and and he want to take your guns. Like, well, now Trump is like literally, I want to take your guns, and everybody's like, well, it's fine.
No, it's cool because
it's fine.
he'll do something cool with it.
Well, then he
Yeah.
also told the CDC they can't publish those things and cut their funding.
Yeah,
Well, they've that has been a Senate thing for a long time. Apparently, like the CDC has always had exactly that amount necessary to research gun crimes taken out of their budget every single year, no matter what.
Yeah, whatever
Except
the number they
for
give.
when Obama
yeah.
did it for like 2 years and
Yeah.
allowed them whatever. And of course, the best part is that the information that came out when the CDC was finally able to look into it, because they can look into it that far, weren't able to find that much evidence, and so everyone said, "See, it doesn't work."
Yeah, it's like, turns out we actually can't find out, and then.
Yeah.
And then
It's like
in front of cameras when Trump was like, "Oh, you're afraid of the NRA. You're afraid of the NRA. I'm not afraid of the NRA."
Right.
And then behind closed doors, he's like,
Well, then 3 days later, no, it's totally cool.
Yeah.
Those guys,
Yeah.
they're good guys.
Yeah.
They're good
"It's
guys.
fine."
Well, I'm sure Trump is falling asleep, jerking himself off, thinking like that super strong guy knew that I would beat him arm wrestling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Mhm.
Although one good thing, fucking Florida, my teens,
Yeah.
they actually Florida passed a gun law to raise the age limits.
To 21, yeah.
21.
It passed.
And yes, Rick
I've been
Scott
off the- yeah,
actually
okay.
signed the law.
Fucking, hey,
3-day waiting
Fucking
period.
Thank Christ. Seriously.
In
Yeah.
Florida today, something good happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I told you made fun of me. You made fun of me because I said I used to live in that community. You guys poked fun of me about that.
Well, I poked fun at you. I didn't make fun of you.
Florida man.
Poked fun. But
Well,
that community, all right, we're after hours now.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing. That's a rich Jewish community
Okay.
with well-educated kids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why it's working.
Yeah.
Because honestly, though, those kids could be my children because of the age. That I'm 46. They could be my
Yeah.
kids.
And all the
it's-
seed you were throwing around back then. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was Florida. Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna get pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in a quarter-mile radius.
Yeah.
This fog. What is this?
It's semen.
It's not a
It's
fog,
Dylan.
Yeah.
Well,
Da-da-da-da.
But the point being,
sorry.
when I lived there 30 years ago, it was a well-educated community, who actually cared about public education.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, because it was a rich Jewish community who, in the Jewish society, they want their kids to be educated.
Yep.
So if there was
Funny thing,
so
huh?
the point I was making a couple weeks ago was, if there's anything left of what I knew from 30 years ago in that community,
Yeah.
with the generational changeover from me being a kid to me being someone who might be their parents, you have an institutional memory of education, of growing up through all these years of kind of liberalism or whatever.
Right. Right.
And so when I saw those kids on TV, I'm like, yeah, holy shit, this is going to work. These actually are the byproducts of the things we've been talking about for 20 years.
Well, and Dylan, you
Right,
see that,
right,
like that
right.
Florida senator was like, "Oh, well, children. These are just children. Why would
Yeah.
we listen to them? Like, what if they want to make homework illegal?" It's like,
Exactly, yeah.
It's so lazy.
It's just,
Yeah,
it's like
it is.
you
That's
really equivocate the two. Like,
right. Well, it's the same kind of fucking normie bullshit that happens
Yeah.
all the time when you just try to make a point.
it's like these
just
kids,
upset
hey, maybe make it harder for people to get war weapons to
Right.
annihilate us.
Right.
Like, I have friends
Yeah.
that are dead now, and like, hey, maybe it's like, hey, and then you say you call them children. They're kids whenever they want to talk about an adult topic like gun
Yeah.
control. But guess what? In a year or two, they're going to be able to vote. They're adults.
Actually, what's funny
and
is
they're adults when they can be drafted into war.
What's
And
funny-
they're-
Well,
yeah.
the gag about that specifically, and not to
Yeah.
cut you off, Dylan, but
No,
the
no,
gag
go
about
for
that
it.
specifically was they're like saying, all right, so these are teens. What the fuck do teens know? And then there's that beautiful conversation where they're like looking at all the ages of our founding fathers and when they actually did important things and how they're all
18 to 21.
18 to 21.
Suddenly.
And personally, I had a
Yeah.
problem with that because I was also thinking, like, well, think about how smart they were because they were educated. So they actually, it's nice to know
Yeah.
that the Parkland kids are actually it's actually educated
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's
no,
not. It's not a unique. It's not a microcosm. This is people everywhere, and I know there's a lot of dollars in a minority of people's hands,
Right.
and then again
on both
like,
sides. On both sides.
yeah, both are great people.
Great
Yeah.
people.
But the kids, even if they are teens, I wouldn't call them children. I wouldn't call a 16-year-old a child.
They're not. I would not call a 17-year-old
No.
kid who's been in an active
Again,
shooting environment
within a year.
child.
They can enlist in the military
Right.
and
Right.
get take a bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can vote.
Yeah.
You cannot
Caught your bullet.
discount them
No, you can't.
if they're some of them are 6 months away from being what you would qualify as adult.
Yeah,
although
so-
they can't order alcohol.
Yeah.
But they can get a automatic
Actually, but in Florida,
rifle.
as of today, they can no longer get an automatic rifle anymore.
Yeah, and
That's
that's,
great. That's
actually huge.
yes, it is. And
So
in Florida,
and the
So,
thing is,
yeah.
you think the country belongs to you? It's like, no, man,
it belongs to them.
You want to make this country better for whom? The next generation. You're not, and I don't know. It's slippery slope. Like look,
No, you're right, but that's a very interesting point. I know, Travis, you want to go on a tangent, but that's where we're
Yeah.
at. We're at a very
No, let's
precarious.
focus to it, but yeah.
Yeah.
We're at a very precarious moment in time where we're at a horrible moment where people who are, I guess, baby boomers, I guess, but maybe slightly younger,
fucking boomers.
they are all about making money now.
right.
Yes.
At the
Short
at
sight.
the expense of who gives a fuck? Because I'm gonna be
Yeah.
dead in 20 years and I got my
Yeah,
Viagra.
I won't just suffer the
Um,
consequences.
We
of
have
this
Gen
decision, yes.
Xers who are my generation who we gave you the internet. You're welcome,
Oh, all right.
but we also didn't
didn't
care
say
about
thank you.
anything.
Right.
So that's why the internet is the way it works now.
Right.
What?
Right.
You have millennials who are self-absorbed, but you have these kids who are finally saying, no. It's no.
Yeah.
Like, the whole parking thing really freaked me out because, again, I used to live in that community, and one of the things I realized was these kids have gone their entire lives having gun drills in school.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy.
I was,
And that should never
I was in
exist.
high school
Should
when
never
Columbine
That should
happened,
never exist.
and that's where it
Yeah.
that's where it started.
Yeah.
I was still in high school when Columbine happened.
Yeah.
You couldn't wear a trench coat to school, which is
And hell, in the 80s, we were all trench coats.
right.
yeah. If you lived in the north, they're like, yeah, it's a great jacket, like it keeps you warm. But no, with the
Sure. Or if you're Neo.
and it was the start of those.
How much do
drills.
clothes cost in the
I mean,
Matrix?
we had there was supposed to be there was on the announcements they would say Dr. Belding is in the building.
You had a code word for it?
Well, yeah, but it wasn't
Yeah.
Dr. Belding. It was
Sure.
an actual.
Yeah. It's a not Fight Club. That's
Saved by the Bell, yeah.
no,
yeah, I was doing Saved by the
No,
Bell.
no.
Other place, but
There's it's a reference to another Chuck Palahniuk book, Choke. It's from Choke.
Choke.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. Like knowing all the secret codes and knowing
Uh-huh.
that, like, oh, we need Dr. Spellman to whatever it means. That guy's dead.
Yeah.
We need to sneak his body out because it's the president. Or whatever.
Right.
Or I can dream.
Dream.
Dream
But no, I mean, and it's just weird that like now they're like proposing like, hey, here's this little safe cube you can have in the corner of your school room, and it's bulletproof, and you can lock it up. And it's like, why is
That shouldn't
why
exist.
is this the solution? You know, it's like what?
Which again is why these kids have gotten more done in like 3 weeks than the past 20 or 30 years of people
Yeah.
who are activists.
And you know what? I put the blame squarely on the NRA because back
Yes.
in the 1970s, the
Ray
NRA.
LaPierre.
In the 60s to 70s, the NRA was just a fun little club that, like, hey, you like
Yes.
guns? All right, hey, here's. And then, you know what happened? Is
The 90s
the 90s happened.
it was the Vietnam War, and suddenly the military,
okay.
the gun
all the way back,
manufacturers,
Yeah.
They had a surplus of
Yeah.
guns, and like, hey,
Sure.
we someone needs to buy these guns,
Yeah.
and they lashed on the NRA. It's like, hey, buy these guns, which are made for war.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, but let's just make it like, yeah, I guess it's Second Amendment. Yeah, all right. It's the same thing as a musket. Sure.
Yeah.
And they were, and then it devolved to this weird thing. It's like, yeah, you can have an assault rifle as a citizen because that's the same thing, because that's going to prevent, the tyranny of your government.
Sam B did a great bit this past week.
Oh, I love
that,
Sam B.
That the NRA is a cult, and if you're going to be in a cult, just join Scientology.
Because it makes more sense?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think it's a lateral
Xenu.
move.
You meant
lateral
Xenu.
move.
You meant Xenu.
And
Right.
it makes
right.
about as much sense. It's just a lateral move. Yeah.
No, but she's a great bit on that. You should check it out.
You've seen those like photos of these people like burying their guns. I don't know what it is. Like with crowns of bullets and.
Yeah. Actually, have you guys ever known?
That's fucking weird.
Have you guys
though.
ever known anyone who's been personally like affected by gun violence?
No.
No, not myself. No.
I have.
I'm fortunate that I don't. I do have some secondary stories. We have some people that we know from this show and from the real world or whatever who have been in situations where people have shot at them, but nothing as serious as like an actual person.
No, a friend
same.
of mine was brutally murdered by a ex-con.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
This story is already very sad.
Yeah. No, well, his name, ironically, was Life. He worked for NASA, actually. This is about 20 years ago or so. He was working for NASA doing GPS stuff, which is actually kind of pretty fucking cool. Living in Houston.
Yeah.
Met this great girl, but she had a past, and her ex was in jail. Her ex got out of jail, found out that she was dating somebody else,
Yeah.
Jody.
and then showed up at their house with 1,000 rounds of ammunition.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's a passion. Holy shit.
Yeah.
At least like 4 or 5
he's a bad
guns.
shot.
That must be the best vagina in the entire world.
Golden.
He obviously killed both my friend live and his fiance and
God,
himself.
I'm sorry. Sorry for being cavalier there.
Like no. But like the police couldn't tell how many times my friend had been shot
oh, fuck.
because there were that many
So
bullet
many.
holes.
Holy God damn
Yeah.
it.
Overlapping.
Yeah,
Bullet.
a shotgun combined with AR-15 combined with 45 pistol.
Oh,
And then
my God.
But that's clearly what the founding fathers
Yeah.
wanted to protect. They wanted to
Exactly.
protect that.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so
Then-
if you're listening to this episode and you want to, if you want to get mad, go ahead.
Tyranny against evil.
802-359-7468 because we're going to fucking tear right into this because the most important thing, yes, we are not dummies. We know that during the Founding Fathers, when the Second Amendment was a thing, that there were machine guns, the guns that were able to feed a lot of rounds. But the one thing you seem to keep fucking forgetting, you fucking morons, is that they weren't portable. They weren't fucking easily portable.
There's also that. Yeah.
That's the most important fucking part. I keep hearing this one fucking argument that drives me nuts is that guns and cars should be related in any kind of fucking dumb simile, and I hate that shit because you can't easily drive a fucking car into a goddamn elementary school. Try it. Just fucking try it.
No,
It's brick building.
Actually,
It's a brick building with very small halls.
no, they did that actually in England like 3 months ago. That was fun.
Well,
They-
I mean,
not a Jason Statham movie
No. There were 2 terrorist attacks in London like last year.
where they
Yes.
drove a car into a classroom.
No, into a crowd of people and killed like 40
Whoa.
people. Yeah.
Well, That's on the street.
and that's
That's on the
and that's
street.
true, and that does
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And that person gets caught by whatever registration or whatever.
Mental
we're not trying to
health.
ban
But
cars.
they don't. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't do this because
Yeah.
mental health, like I said earlier,
Like, they were-
contentpending.com, the show Prime or whatever. Like the most important thing to remember about all of this is that we are not the only fucking culture that has mental health problems in violent video games. Everywhere else can handle it. Why the fuck can't we handle it?
And I
It's
can't
because of the
believe they're
fucking gun.
renewing this video games argument. It's like,
so obnoxious.
didn't we go over this in the hey?
Yeah,
man,
no, in the 90s,
I've
we
been
covered
playing
this already.
video games,
Yeah.
and it's like
Hillary
it
Clinton was
shapes
attacked.
young people's
Yeah.
minds. Like,
Yeah.
cool. It's a fun straw man
Yeah.
because it can't really argue against. Like, are we violent? Well, yes, we are. They're video games.
Yes, we
but-
can. Yeah. Yeah.
But there is no correlation or causation
Yeah.
between the two.
Yeah. There was a research paper that came out this last week that found
Video
that
games didn't invent violence.
most of the people that you would find that actually are mentally ill and want to do these kinds of things that are locked up or able to you can ask questions or
Yeah.
whatever aren't interested in video games.
Yeah.
And there was the one guy. It was in Florida. It was like somewhere in Minnesota. It was like a university killing that we weren't really paying attention to too much. It was like maybe like 6 years ago, 8 years ago. The Asian dude who shot a thing, and like there was a moment in time where the media just got so racist they just assumed because he was Asian that he definitely played video games. But there was nothing about video games in his life. There's more proof. Again, there's more proof that video games are more cathartic than anything else
And
than there is for sure.
That's my thing.
Similar to
It's
porn.
outlet.
Yeah. Similar to
It's
porn,
It's an
yeah.
outlet.
Yeah.
Like you get.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Again,
Outlet
we
is
are-
the key. Yeah.
Yeah.
We think we're so elevated, but we're still animals. And
We are
we
still
have
animals.
the primal desire. And hey, you know what? Playing a game of Grand Theft Auto and I get to just murder people. I'm like,
Yeah.
I got it out of my system.
It's like
Got it
9
out of my
times.
system. Yeah, it's like
Except for
I'm
new mic
good,
stand.
like-
Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you know, the people. I'm not saying that it doesn't impress a thing onto youths, but those are the ones who already have that mental health.
Yeah, it's already there.
Yeah,
It might
like-
it might scratch the itch or it might make it worse. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then that's something we still haven't figured out yet. But at the very least,
But
it
most
is-
studies have proven it doesn't.
most studies have proven it doesn't, and it's just stay away from it for now because we're talking about one thing. Don't point at anything else. Point at the gun and figure out where. Focus on the gun. Just focus on the gun.
Yeah. And
Because we get rid of AR-15s. There's another. There was a story. There was a story about a youth who
Ute.
a Ute.
Ute.
Yeah.
Singular.
His idea was he was going to go into his school and he was going to be the best mass shooter because he knew what everyone else was doing wrong. That was his goal. He literally, and it was like
He was white, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he had a
was
goal.
he was in jail the same
but it was
time
a male.
the Florida club shooting was happening. He was not in jail. He was in court. And his idea was
the Orlando.
He knew for sure. Yeah, he knew for sure he was able to get at least 70 people. He knew he can get at least 70 people. He was hoping for 150 if he was lucky, but he only had access to one .40 caliber pistol, and it jammed on him when he was walking to shoot the first person in like the playground area, and he was knocked over and subdued, before he could do anything because he didn't know how to use that weapon. All right, and that's an asterisk for later.
Yeah. If he had a assault rifle,
and his dad had what? If you don't have AR-15s, there's a Ruger. There's some kind of Ruger that's very similar in a lot of ways, whatever. But that was locked in his dad's fucking gun safe, and he didn't have access for it, and so he showed up with a pistol that didn't work. Hey, what do you know? He didn't have the fucking gun that would have been more efficient that we're trying to fight for. I mean,
so he still had mental illness.
Yeah,
but not access to the gun.
Yeah.
Wait, how does that work again? Oh shit! Is it a magnet? What? My mind is blown.
We like to make this gag because the Onion is able to take the same article name. No way to stop this. It says country where
this is the only country where this regularly happens. Yeah.
But the one that I love the most.
No way to stop it. No way to stop it.
The one I love the most is the editorial from an AR-15. It's an honor to continue being valued over countless human lives.
And it's disgusting. And the NRA used to be, it was a small, back in the 70s, it was a small organization.
Yeah.
It was just for literal hunters, and then suddenly the gun manufacturers are like, hey, let's put a bunch of money into this, and now we can sell these literally military weapons.
Right. Because they're cheap.
Civilians, because they're legal, and we're going to lobby.
They're cheap and modular. That's the most interesting thing about the AR-15. Really, it's like you can do so much with it very easily. It's fine.
And they really like brainwash people. It's like, you think you need this to defend your house? You need an AR-15 for the roving bands of super mutants?
I'd actually.
Are we in Fallout?
There's a couple of threads there that we can pull on. But I think one of the most important ones is literally, okay, like you're talking about, are you trying to protect your house or trying to protect against a tyrannical government, right?
Right.
You're trying to protect against your house. What would you rather have? Would you rather have a long rifle, a long-barreled rifle that you would have to get set up and ready, or would you rather have a shotgun? Would you rather have a pistol? More often than not, most people would rather have, even the guy that was mentioned before, he's a person of the gun variety.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't want to have an AR-15 to protect his house because he'd rather actually, what he's focusing on,
he's
trying to mitigate the damage caused by low light situations. He was the one who
shotguns got spread.
Well,
man.
they do, but also, like, if you're in a situation where there's a person downstairs doing something, you don't know if they have a gun or not. First thing you should do really is try to devolve it as quickly as possible by using a very bright flashlight or yelling at them, "I have a pistol, get the fuck out." That's what a normal person would do instead of just murdering them.
I mean, or also just cock that shotgun.
Yes. Yeah. Pucker buttholes first.
My butthole would pucker right the fuck out. Yeah.
And you also don't have to worry about aiming that far. It's much easier to move a fucking pistol around. It's much easier to hit a target with a shotgun, and it's so fucking hard with an AR-15 with all this extra shit on it. So the only other thing is a tyrannical government, and we've already talked about this before. There is no really good argument for tyrannical government. We don't have one. The best our tyrannical government's ever done was ban assault rifles for 10 years with expiration date. That's the best we've ever done.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a lot of like Arab Spring or the Third Reich.
I think we had a conversation. You can't break into your own house. Like, why would the government suddenly institute tyranny?
There's no ROI on it. There's literally no ROI on trying to take over everyone else.
There's no return on that investment. The government is already in control. How do they suddenly need more control? Like, we're gonna, and
not even that. I mean, just the logistics of it is just mind-boggling.
States' rights
for nothing.
Yeah,
for nothing.
And it's like,
So what's the concern?
So if suddenly the U.S. government went tyrannical, and they used their military to take over, you know what the military is made of? Fucking people. Citizens.
It's people with families.
Who don't get paid very well.
Who live here,
very well.
And you think they're like, this government is like, well, I'm going to do it anyway because, they'll be like, no, fuck this. Like, it's like, it's so ridiculous. It's the idea of like, your little home arsenal is going to repel this imagined government attack.
Right.
Like, okay, they'll just drone you. They can nuke you from fucking orbit. Like, what are you talking about?
We look at how many cops are in the U.S. Right?
1.3 million.
Okay, so 1.3 million. How many people are in standing military?
About the same.
No, it's
only?
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
So you're saying 3 million people. 3 million people are going to take over America.
Yeah.
A country of over
Assuming
300
they're all
million.
assuming they're all colluding together.
Again,
Right,
everybody,
yeah, right,
no,
right.
not one of them
Right.
is saying like, "No, I'm not going to do this.
Right.
I'm not going to come in this
There's
house."
one
and-
Tom Hanks in that motherfucking group, who's going to do something. Or a Vin Diesel.
Or there's
or
a
Jason
there's
Statham.
there's a Die Hard in that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I thought I
like-
made that point clear.
Yeah. Oh, I
yeah.
underlined it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no. Again, it's like, who do you think you're going to be fighting against? You're going to be fighting against, like you said, the
Yeah.
police or
Yeah.
the military, and
Who
like,
might be your dad or your mom or your sister or
Especially-
your brother or
that
whatever.
dude
like,
grew up
Actually-
down the street from me.
Actually, what's
like,
funny
he's
is
like-
that the
Yeah.
places most likely
for
to
no reason.
the places in America most likely to invoke that kind of sentiment are the places where it's most likely you'd be fighting your neighbor, next door neighbor,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like the guy.
And for what?
I've known tribes for 45 years,
What do
but
you-
you're part of the government now. I have to kill you.
Yeah. What are you fighting for?
What?
Like-
Right. I'm gonna
Right.
bust in your house and take all your guns or whatever, like the guns that we can find, specifically so I can then have your guns and then do nothing with that. I don't.
Well, I've seen like these ridiculous like
Again, 802-359-7468, please.
I've seen these
Fight
ridiculous conservative like ads. I don't really know what you call them, but it's like, hey,
They're coming
you slap up a gun-free zone label on your house, and then
You're a target.
yeah,
You're asking
like,
for
yeah,
it dressed
you're
like
asking-
that.
yeah.
I mean, well,
Like,
okay,
who-
so
but first of all, it's like,
All right,
and,
hold
and
on.
they're arguing against the idea of a gun-free zone, like schools.
sure.
It's like, well, okay, yeah. The idea is like, well, yeah, criminals aren't gonna listen to gun-free. It's like that's not the point,
Right,
man.
right. No, the stress of the thing is trying to. Okay, so I mean, this is a multi-layered problem for sure,
for sure.
but it still starts with the gun and not the person. You know?
Yes.
I mean that I think like and maybe that's like a liberal versus maybe that's the purest
I guess.
version of a liberal versus Republican
guess.
thing is it starts
Yeah.
with the gun versus starts with the person. But we still both agree, either side of the aisle, major aisles, not libertarians who are like, fuck it,
Let them do it.
let them do it. Is that it's someone's fault, And trying to figure it out is the most important part. And all we want to do is try to figure it out, and no one wants to actually, especially. Oh fuck! I'm getting riled up. Harumph. Yeah.
Well, it's when people say like, oh well, if you ban assault rifles, then only criminals will have assault rifles. Like, I
No.
feel like I have two feelings. I was like, are you saying like if you have assault rifles, you wouldn't turn them in? Are you saying you would willing to be a criminal? You're willing to be a criminal? Yeah. And I didn't know you were an anarchist because guess what? Like speeding is illegal, but
Sure. Yeah.
should we just
Get rid of those laws
get rid
too
of
because they didn't do
every
anything?
law
Absolutely
because
fucking
people are
not.
going to break it anyway?
Well,
Right.
the counter is cars are in the Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, or whatever the Bill of
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
the
Bill of
Constitution.
Rights.
Constitution.
We get you. We get you.
Constitution.
It counts the Bill of Rights.
No, the Bill of Rights aren't even in the Constitution.
Sure.
That's true because they're amendments.
Yeah,
It's the fucking thing.
Yeah.
They're actually
because it's a living document.
Yep.
the whole point of an amendment is that we didn't get it right the first time. We should fix that.
Right.
Yeah.
They literally did not have freedom of speech in the first draft of the
Women's
yeah.
suffrage, for example.
Hey, black people can vote too because I guess they're people also.
No.
That came in way
Hey,
late.
not in Texas, sir. Not yet.
Well, again,
We're almost there.
I don't think
We're
that's fair.
almost there.
I think just the other 2/5 of that person just got lost in the mail.
well, I mean, hell, like
the horse,
alcohol was
you know?
illegal at one point,
and then by the
but
Constitution.
They realized, like, by the amendment to it. It's
Yeah.
like, hey,
Yeah.
but you understand, like, it
Yeah.
grows over time, and our understanding of it.
has to grow.
Understanding
It has to
of it
grow.
has to change over time
Because our
It's
changes
not
happen.
It's not
Yeah.
carved in stone. It's not the fucking.
Commandments.
Thank you.
Hey, you got me earlier.
It wasn't.
It's my turn. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't handed down from God from a burning bush on a mountain. It's like these are humans deciding these rules, and they're like, hey, we're gonna make it flexible.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they didn't put the amendments into the Constitution because they're like, hey, here's the Bill of Rights. We know these may change over time, and we want that to be a thing. Like it's not set in stone. It's written on paper,
Right.
And you can black it out. Yeah,
and
you can change
that's actually
it.
that makes America
That's
awesome.
That's what the
Yeah,
best. That's
it
the
should be.
best
because
part.
we
Yeah.
do
Let's try it.
we realize our faults.
And people are
and we
like,
evolve
hey,
over
when they
time.
talk about common sense legislation on weapons,
Yeah.
And people, and then if you have the Second Amendment, no, you shall not be abridged.
That's
Just
the
like,
NRA doing that too.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
you're focusing on one part of the Second Amendment.
Right.
Is shall not be abridged. It's like, yeah, there's 4 parts to it.
Yeah,
And-
to form an
well-regulated
militia.
Yeah. Well-regulated. Y'all aren't talking about regulation. This
Yeah,
is exactly what we're talking about. Regulation.
Because a well-regulated militia would not shoot kids.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Wouldn't give weapons to somebody who might be possibly a
or
school shooter.
would not
Yeah.
make weapons available to someone who know how to use the fucking things.
Right.
That's my
Look at you,
biggest.
Switzerland.
And again, as our understanding of weapons has evolved
Yes.
over time,
Yeah.
this needs to evolve to
At
recognize
least
it.
clean it up. So
Yeah.
it'll
Yeah.
fucking argue
Thomas
with it.
Jefferson never realized you could fire 1,000
When they
rounds a
talked
minute.
about it, when they talk about a gun, they're talking about like
Well,
a
no,
musket. Yeah.
Again, that's
Yeah.
what I was saying before. Is that did happen? That did exist, but
Mhm.
it wasn't portable.
Yeah.
Just like driving a
There were
Honda Civic,
machine guns, yeah.
or driving a Honda Civic into a classroom is really fucking hard.
Yeah.
because
It's not going to break that
because
brick
of
wall.
doors.
I don't
Because
know.
of walls.
Here's a fun fact.
I'm willing to
Go
try.
ahead.
Here's
I'm
a-
willing to learn.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'll regret anything once. Here's a fun fact, only because we're talking
Yeah.
about the founding fathers. Do you know that George Washington was incredibly scared? One of his only real irrational fears that we know of was being buried alive. And so,
Really?
so when he died, he was asked.
Same.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense. I think it's a pretty rational
Who's
fear. I
not?
guess.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's a good one.
But when he died, he was asked. He asked to make sure that his corpse was open for I think it was like 2 weeks,
Really?
Well, that was the
just
thing.
just in case. Before
That was
he
a
was
thing
buried,
for a
yeah.
while. Like,
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
didn't like death was like kind of fluid. It
Yeah.
was like they didn't really
It was
know.
mercurial.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, it was like, oh, are they dead? Like, I guess sure, bury them.
Yeah, I
People
guess, yeah.
they had the bells that like.
Yeah,
they
inside
would-
the coffin. Yes.
Yeah, that you could. Oh, if you woke up and
Yeah.
suddenly
Yeah.
6 feet underground, you could. Yeah, and
Yeah. Oh,
oh,
right. Out of time now. Let's go and round this out. I think we figured out everything we want to figure out about
Yeah.
guns. We solved it.
We
guys.
solved it.
we fixed
Woo!
it.
Did it.
Fixed it.
We did it. Another podcast solves
The world.
the world.
We fixed racism.
We
Think by a corollary.
sure. Oh, it's sad. We're
Follow it
sad.
through. Follow it through.
Bassy, thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Hey, I'm glad you had me.
Yeah, of course, man. Please, is there anything you want to plug?
Sandwiches.
You want to plug sandwiches?
Eat more sandwiches.
Okay.
I just don't think that the American peoples are eating
Enough sandwiches.
Yeah.
Bring a sandwich to lunch.
Doesn't count. Hot dogs doesn't count.
No, they do not the same
No,
fucking thing.
nope. Hot pockets, not. Nope.
They're not ravioli
Nope.
either.
Yep.
Dylan.
I'm gonna go with no Quiznos.
Okay, no quizzes.
If you're gonna eat if you're
Cut it
gonna eat,
out.
if you're gonna eat a sandwich, don't go to actually.
Yeah.
If you're gonna eat a sandwich, make it at home.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring it to work as a
Bring it to work.
treat.
Yeah. Don't do Subway.
Okay, I'm saying just
Don't do
eat a sandwich
Quiznos.
wherever you want to. Like this guy's like restricting.
Well, the best thing about Subway is it all tastes exactly the same. Like garbage.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I encourage. I'm basking with you. I
Yeah.
think people should eat more sandwiches, but
Yes,
eat
more sandwiches.
good sandwiches.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, yeah.
Have a good time.
He's putting
Yeah.
a qualifier on it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. He's not saying don't eat less sandwiches.
No, because I love sandwiches.
better.
Yeah.
And yes, I can.
Subway's
okay.
not a sandwich.
I want to say like
I
okay.
can subscribe to that.
Only to trap
magazine.
onto this like just try anything except for white bread once. Like
true.
if you're making your sandwiches at home, if
And
you're doing
a-
buns and rolls,
a
and
nice
stuff,
pumpernickel
totally cool.
once in a while.
Well, 9 grain is fucking rad.
Toast
Yeah.
it, man.
Yeah, and toast it. Yeah, just fucking toast it.
Get in there.
Ham and Swiss on rye.
Put some chips
Mwah.
on that bitch. Who gives a shit?
I love some Fritos on my sandwich.
Fuck
So,
yeah.
Some sourdough once in a while.
One of my favorite things growing up was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, strawberry, creamy, not respectfully, with some ruffles on it. Fucking wonderful.
So the takeaway is, yeah, just
Just have more sandwiches. Yeah,
eat more sandwiches.
just eat more sandwiches.
So we all agree.
Yeah. Bass, thanks for coming and hanging out. Dylan, thanks for coming and running the show.
Yay!
If you like the show, you want to know about the show, go to contentpenny.com. It's contentpenny.com. You can find everything about us there. You can also go to drunkcastlive.com if you want to see or listen to any of the things that we did before this evolution to this version of the show. Of course, this is the after hours, so there's a lot more free flow. Whatever. If you enjoy it, though, please go to Facebook.com/contentpinning. We're at Content Pinning on Twitter. We're contentpinning.com, which is Content Pinning, DOTCOM on Instagram. And you can also 802-359-7468 if you want to leave a comment or text us or call us.
Hate mail.
Hate mail, whatever you like, man. Just tell us what you think
Dick
about
pics. I don't care.
Yes, send some dick pics. Ariel Norman still owes us dick pics. God damn it.
That's true.
What else? You can go to iTunes, you go to the Stitcher Store, you can Google Play Store, you can find anything that we do and listen to all of it. Anything that you find actually on content.com, you'll see the other shows that we've done. If you liked any of those, let's bring them back if they're not available, or tell us what you like about them or hate about them so we can make them better. But you know, listen to this show, listen to everything that we do, and also go to youtube.com/content pending. See everything there. We are a multifaceted media company, and we like to party. But anyway, I'm Travis, and I love so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Content pending.